Ah, Kirby games. The game about a little pink puffball who goes around defeating some of the most evil creatures in the galaxy. Yes, you'd be surprised when I give you this list of bad guys that, man, Kirby can be kind of dark and probably even darker than some of the Zelda games that we see in the franchise. Today we are taking a look at every main antagonist from the Kirby franchise, putting away some of the bosses because I didn't add characters like Wispy Woods, as they do appear a lot of the time, but I don't even know if they even have a motive. It's a freaking tree. Why are we beating up a tree? So I have a list compiled of 21 different antagonists from the Kirby franchise, and we're going to be looking at who is the most evil and who is the least evil, putting them in sequential order. This could be either based off of how strong their motives is for being evil, or exactly how evil of a being they are, because they could be some type of ancient evil that they're just born that way. So we'll be taking everything into account and all their background information when deciding this list. Also, before we get started, if you want to check out our new channel, it's in the link card above. Just click on that and it'll take you to some crazy stuff, because what I'm going to do is start filling this channel with random things me and my friends do, kind of funny videos, laid back videos, stuff that's different than just here on Nintendo Land. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do that, and also join the Nintendo Land Discord to get your name appearing at the very end of each and every video. Without further ado, let's get started. The first one we have on our list is Meta Knight, and he's similar to King Dede in the fact that he's kind of a hero with Kirby and helps him out many times. Well, this is because he knows that Kirby is a star warrior from many contexts that I've read, and he wants to train him and test him to see what he can do. He knows he's the one that's going to save Dream World from its multiple problems, and he's there to help Kirby whenever he needs it. He rarely plays a role, as he watches from the background, and whenever he needs to jump in, he will. The only time we really could say that he was an enemy was in Kirby Superstar, where he worked for King Dede to defeat Kirby once and for all with his battleship Halberd, and we're still not sure if he was actually trying to kill Kirby or just, once again, test him, because this is one of the earlier games, so this could have been an earlier test for Kirby. Galacta Knight is an ancient warrior from the past and was sealed away because of the fear of his power. He's actually noted to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, in the galaxy, but we don't know his intentions or not. We really don't know his backstory, and out of everybody on this list, he's the most mystical one here, because we don't know if he's actually angry and if he's actually have a maleficent intention with him, because we don't know anything about him. He comes out randomly from a fight, and then he gets put back in imprisonment, so we really don't know what's his intentions and what his final goals are. He also dresses very elegant to be a villain. I mean, even Meta Knight dresses darker than him. This guy has a beautiful looking lance and just nice wings, and just the colors flow as if he was some type of guardian at one time. Now, the butterflies transforming him into Morpho Knight is a story that I really don't know where they're going with, so it's gonna have to wait and see where this goes. King Dede is one of those villains, but once again, don't really act like a villain. He's really trying to help Dream World and keep it prosperous, and I think Kirby just looked like a threat to him and the world at first, after realizing that he's here to help as well. King Dede is always finding himself in sticky situations, or even getting possessed by another creature, and it's really not his fault. He very rarely plays the true villain like he does in Kirby Superstar with his Mega Hammer and his mask. The Roach and the Squid Squad are a group of thieves that steal anything they can get their paws on, including a cake from Kirby. I don't know why, they're just kind of a douchebag. The Roach, their leader, finds a chest and thinks that it holds a mystical power in order to give him everything that he wants. So he goes out of his way to steal this thing and finally opens it up, revealing Dark Nebula, a piece of dark matter left behind in past games. Ends up possessing him and turning him more evil than he ever was. So the Squid Squad really isn't anything but these group of mice that like to steal from people. The Jambastion mages do whatever their leader Highness asks of them because they feel as if they owe him a great debt, and they end up helping him resurrect one of the most evils in the entire world. Foreshadowing. They were all saved from near-death experiences by Highness, but the only reason Highness recruited them was to help him resurrect Void Termina, the evil dark being, in the past. So this is kind of a weird situation where they had no choice but to help him. They literally got saved by him from almost being killed, so they felt like they owe him a great debt. Drossia is the first time we get to see some true evil start to emerge. She wants to rule the world and turn everything into her own painting or her own art canvas. Like Adeline, she can bring paintings to life in order to work for her as her minions, and she pretty much just wants to rule everything and turn everything into her own magical canvas, which isn't too bad. It's not going to really kill off everybody, but it is something kind of evil. Next up, we have Dark Crafter, which is kind of in the same boat as Drossia. Here, he corrupts Glacia, which is another version of this powerful being able to create things with clay instead of drawings, and he pretty much corrupts her and steals all of Dreamland's colors, leaving it lifeless and dull. He possesses the glasses that she wears on her face, and after Kirby knocks them off, Dark Crafter is revealed. He's pretty evil as he wants to wipe out all things color and leave everything kind of dull and lifeless, but still nowhere near as evil as the rest. Dark Mind is an evil ruler of the mirror world, and he simply just wants to take over the mirror dimension, and there's not much else besides that. It doesn't talk too much about him taking over the universe or even Dream World. He just kind of sticks with the mirror dimension. He can create different types of entities with this mirror dimension, such as the Dark Meta Knight that we see, but that's about it. There's nothing too different about him than some of these others. He's just an evil being trying to take over his world. Carranza is the humble servant to Queen Sectonia and will do whatever it takes to make her happy. He stole the dimension mirror from the mirror world, not realizing that it still housed the ancient evil of Dark Meta Knight, and every time Queen Sectonia would stare into the mirror, she would slowly get corrupted by the evil. This is unfortunate for both Carranza and Queen Sectonia because neither of them realized exactly what was going on. I don't think any of these intentions were pure. However, Carranza should have never stole this mirror in the first place, realizing that she still had some evil intentions within inside her. Carranza would do anything to please her queen, even when she is corrupted, so she went about her bidding, controlling people and possessing them at her own will. And Carranza also went after what seemed to be the most powerful being in Dream World at the time, being King Dede, until she realized it wasn't in fact King Dede, it was Kirby. She controls people like a puppet master with her webs, and gets everything done by doing her own mind control business. Dark matter is just simply true evil. We don't know exactly what the intentions are, but to just plunge the world into darkness, but that's all we know. He has stole rainbow bridges in order to plunge the world in darkness, and he also possesses lots of people, including, once again, King Dede. He's possessed characters such as Wispy Woods and Adeline as well, and used her powers to bring her drawings to life, her evil creature drawings to life. This one doesn't have much to talk about since it's kind of just the leader of dark matter. Zero is kind of like the hive queen of the dark matter and can kind of send them out and form together to form Zero at the very end. It's kind of like the head honcho, the boss of the darkness, so there's not much else to talk about. It's just kind of the leader here. Nightmare is the first real baddie of the series. He's the reason why all these monsters and creatures are all over Dream World in the first place. His goal is to create nightmares in order to run over Dream World and win by just completely torturing all the civilians with their nightmares, which is pretty significantly evil. King Dede tried to imprison him, but Kirby accidentally released him from the Star Rod, not knowing the information about it, and it was a complete accident, and now Nightmare was going to take over. Kirby thankfully defeated him with the help of the Star Rod, and placed him in his imprisonment and defeated him once again. Queen Sectonia was a peaceful ruling insectoid queen in Floralia. Carranza, her apprentice, stole the dimension mirror from the mirror world, which still contained Dark Meta Knight, which every single time Queen Sectonia looked into the mirror, she became more corrupted with evil. And I know none of this is really her fault, and Carranza is technically the bad guy here, but still, Queen Sectonia did some pretty evil things even under evil rule. She instructed Carranza to do all the bad things that she did, even enslaved her own people and killed off many of her own people, including turning them into evil henchmen. And even in Queen Sectonia's last dying breaths, she fused herself with the Beanstalk to do everything she could to defeat Kirby. President Hawkman is kind of a sad story. He found blueprints long ago to help build a powerful wishing machine, and his greed led him to work endless days and nights on the machine until a catastrophic event happened which ended up killing his own daughter. From agony and pain, he set out to destroy every world and rip them from their resources because that's just how he is now. He's lost everything, and he's going to do whatever it takes to help build this machine and gather resources from every planet. His own greed was the reason his own daughter died, and thanks to that, he's now even greedier and more evil, and his only goal is to roboticize planets and strip them of their resources until he can conquer the world with his new wishing machine. At first, Yin Yarn might not seem too evil. He just wants to control everything and turn everything into yarn, because it's just like, how dark and evil is that? Well, if you really pay attention, the yarn is going to be all corrupted in his evil plans. He wants to turn everybody into his own personal slave, and just like Carranza, he can control them with his magical yarn. And that's just kind of evil, to control everybody and make them work for you and slave them, including everybody from different worlds, including Dream World. He also changes Meta Knight and King Dede into being enslaved, and also uses his knitting needles to do his bidding. And some can argue that his knitting needles might be the actual evil, as you can see them at the very end of the game get tossed away by Kirby. Necrotius is an ancient evil, a story kind of like Ganon, where it takes 100 years for his full power to restore. Once the 100 years is up, he can create his gang, the Skull Gang, to help him get rid of all light in the universe. Popstar is his next goal, and after he wipes out Popstar, everything can then be blanketed into darkness. And then he doesn't even stop there, because in order to make his plan go through, he comes to Popstar and turns Kirby into 10 tiny copies of himself with the power of his magic rod. Marx is a trickster that somehow manages to get the sun and the moon to fight, which causes Kirby to find a way to stop them. Marx tells Kirby that he needs to summon the Galactic Nova, and once Kirby does, Marx pushes Kirby out the way to make his one and only wish, to become as powerful and strong as possible to take over and rule all worlds. He's a twisted, evil being whose whole intention was to rule from the very beginning, causing Kirby to go on this giant quest to get the sun and the moon to stop fighting, which he caused in the first place. Highness was part of a clan that practiced and used the very darkest of magic. His clan actually prevented a world crisis from happening, which isn't explained in full detail, but the only thing we know is that the rest of his clan had fallen off, and Highness was the only one left. He wanted to avenge his clan, and the only way to do so was to awaken the most evil and darkest of beings, one so powerful they were even seen as a god. So by recruiting the Jambashan mages and using the Jamba heart, he was able to summon the evil being Voyeur. His goal was to simply use the being to take over the entire galaxy. Magolor is some type of alien space being that crashes his ship, the Lore Starcutter, into Dreamland, and tricks Kirby and all of his friends into fixing his ship in order to attack an innocent three-headed dragon known as Landia, who homes the Master Crown. His only goal was to get this Master Crown in order to conquer the universe. This Master Crown gave him his full potential power and turned him into a super strong being. And even once defeated, he's so evil, his soul was even embedded in darkness as he continues to fight later on as Magolor's soul. Voyeur is the reincarnation of an evil entity long ago known as Void. This is the definition of Ganon for Kirby. Void is omnipresent and is everywhere at all times in different locations, and there's even theories that hint that he may have been in different Kirby games hidden as some type of object. Theories are also saying that he could be related to Dark Matter and Zero, as they are not yet confirmed. He was sealed away long ago by 4 warriors into the Jamba Heart, and sealed there for many years. Highness and the Jambashan mages' plan was to revive him in order to take over the universe along his side, but he had other plans. He completely consumes them and uses their energy in order to create his vessel. Once inside, we see that the core looks very similar to Kirby, because it is said that if there's any type of positive energy, it can feed off of that and help calm down his evil raging. But there's still negative energy as he still transforms into beings just like Dark Matter once again. There's so much theory and speculation around this character, I think a whole video would do it justice, but not right now. Stardream started off as just some blueprints on a piece of paper, and they were picked up by President Hawkman. No one knows who made the blueprints or where they came from originally, but Hawkman did build him. It's an AI machine named Stardream that grants the user any wish that he has. And just like every robot movie, the machine started to get a mind of its own and ended up absorbing its creator, Hawkman, and turning himself into a godlike being. His whole intention was to wipe out all organic life and completely start over. He wanted to make himself a god, is pretty much what he was doing. He was so powerful, in fact, he didn't just talk the talk, he walked the walk. He fused himself with a planet-like access arc to become even stronger, and that access arc was actually revealed to be a galactic nova when broken apart by Kirby. And with one of the most powerful AI machines in the world combined with a galactic nova, this was a serious crisis, and it needed to be stopped. He was going for full-fledged galaxy rewiping, and he was going to do it if it wasn't for the help of Kirby and his friends. And that is my full list of antagonists, evil to most evil in the Kirby franchise. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, because I'm sure some of you will switch some spots with people. This is my personal opinion, and I'm sure you guys will have a different one. If I missed any other antagonists, please let me know. I know Dark Meta Knight could have gone in here, but I just felt like he was just not too much of a talker. You really couldn't understand his motive, and he really just felt like a Dark Shadow version of Meta Knight. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.